I think I'm not going to go through the basic of sending email and why we're going to send email, because I think most of you are either already doing it, all right? It's just how you're doing it. Yeah, and maybe how to improve what you're doing right now. Yeah, so we're going to just talk about that. We're going to talk about really optimizing your email, okay, with the latest, development in AI and stuff like that, how you can incorporate that in the designing aspect of your email. Yeah, but of course, let me know in the chat, okay, do you use it or not? If you have not used it before, maybe you can take some tips from here before you start. If you are using it, are you doing the email direct marketing, or you're using email as a personal one-to-one kind of thing for marketing purposes? If you're doing both, right, how likely are you going to use it or do it for your business to get leads? I'm just wondering, all right, because I've been hearing a lot of mix of answers. Some of you might be, in the sales line, all right, and you do a lot of personal level kind of marketing, as in, B2B email, you email them personally. It's a one-to-one direct kind of email. And some of you are actually from B2C, namely e-commerce, all right, you might be doing more EDM. So that means it's like the direct marketing style. That means you blast like a 10,000, 20,000 email database, and you just blast one shot out. All right, yeah, to set up a sending provider to actually do email blasting or email sending, especially the EDM, requires a little bit of setup here and there. So it will take time for you to get everything sorted out. Like, for example, you have to put in that DKIM setting in your domain so that it doesn't get labeled as spam. So those are very technical stuff that your EDM or your ESP, your email sending provider, should be able to advise you. Yeah, but if you haven't done that yet, you better get that done, because nowadays our spam checkers are very, very advanced. And when AI comes in, it's going to be even more advanced. So that's why I have to talk about this. Yeah, it's not just about, your domain is registered properly or set up properly to send bulk emails or not. It's more than that now. It's starting to scan your content. Yeah, it's no joke. It's a lot. Now, in case you don't know what Gmailers is, it's basically a bulk sender for a smaller scale that works with Google emails or Gmails. Yeah, so any of you who actually have a Gmail account and you want to do some really quick EDM, but you don't have like 10,000 people or not even 1,000 people, all right, sometimes using Gmailers is quite a good idea as well. So go ahead and Google that. Okay, this one I thank you, Nadira, for sharing this. Okay, you didn't mention also, I forgot about this one. All right, pretty useful thing for small scale kind of email blasting. Some of you might not want to actually subscribe to email service providers because, first of all, they are quite big. I mean, you have to sign up for an account. That's the first thing. As if we don't have enough online accounts to deal with now, we have to sign up for more accounts. All right. So some of us are actually online account fatigue, So it's a real thing. It's a real pain. Okay. So it's like, can we just do it in a small scale right from our mailbox? Gmailers is actually developed or designed for that. The entire existence of Gmailers is actually for that reason itself. Yeah, so it could be a middle kind of way or option for you guys who probably have less than 100 people to send out to. Don't quote me on that. I have never used it before, but I've seen it in action. So it's like, I'm impressed. There are a few best practices in email design, all right? Of course, we're going to actually tell you that emails don't start and end with just one, all right? So in fact, if some of you have signed up for, sign up a new account with any more established e-commerce websites out there, you probably get a series of emails, not just one, thank you for registering an online account with e-commerce shop A. It's more than that. They actually bring you through a story of onboarding. All right, we call this user onboarding, which is a very technical term, but basically the purpose, the objective is to make people feel comfortable with your brand. Yeah, I mean, of course, some people just wants to keep in touch with you because it's like, I found something interesting here, but I will probably wait for a discount or an offer before I actually buy from you. But of course, you as a brand, especially when you're e-commerce, you need to establish that relationship with this prospect first, even before this person buys anything from you. It tends to happen a lot. Yeah, sometimes you will see as a pop-up box in the e-commerce that says, hey, let us have your email and we'll send you good deals whenever we have them. All right. Some might be triggered. That means you actually sign up for an online account to buy something from the shop. But whatever or however it is that brand actually gets your email, you can expect almost most of the time nowadays, there is a series of email. They never stop at just one email. Agree or not? I think those of you who have bought from, Shopee or Lazada, you might notice that. Yeah, the moment you have an account there, that's it. You can never escape from them. Have you guys noticed how often they send you emails? Take, for example, Shopee. Start digging up your email already, right? How often do I receive things from Shopee, huh? If you are a Lazada person, okay, it's check and see. Okay, if you are counting the number of emails that get sent to you, let me know. In 1 week, how many emails get sent to you? Okay, maybe Shopee or Lazada is not your thing. If you have ordered anything from food delivery platforms like Grab, Food Panda, yeah, you are also a victim of that. I have to say victim because they really try very, very hard to remind you that they still exist, to remind you of the good things. You wouldn't want to miss this out. There are so many campaigns that is launched every single week that they really needed to actually make sure the email is sent out with all the necessary good deals for you guys. Yeah, so that's how it works. Yeah, it's not just a one email thing, especially when you're doing email direct marketing. You have to plan what exactly you want to tell people. So this case study here is basically the first email, okay, you welcome people. The second email is basically, hey, do you know if you buy something from our website right now, you get a discount. All right. Third email, okay, you might want to tell people, hey, you know what? You don't have to worry that whether we will deliver to you or not. Basically, who are these people who actually usually buy from us? All right, what are people saying about us? So this is like customer testimonial, right? Of course, the fourth type is to introduce your social media. Yeah, nowadays a lot of companies, they actually set up social media to actually increase awareness, increase reach, right? So there's nothing stopping you from mentioning or taking some content from your social media and reposting it as a regular email correspondence or email content that you want to send to your subscribers. All right, so this is really a wonderful idea. Okay, you just basically take your top posts or top engaging posts or top posts that actually performs very well on your social medias and just do up a content. It's easy. Yeah, but of course, what is the purpose? Is to help people know you better. All right, it's also make people aware that, hey, you know what, maybe our email only comes to you once a week, but if you really want to know what happens on a day-to-day, come join us in our social media. Yeah, so this is very useful. If you are also an influencer or YouTuber, you probably pack and loads a lot of content, okay, on social media, and you probably, the people, your audience, or maybe your fans or your subscribers or even your followers, they don't really go online all the time. The fact is, Facebook, nowadays a lot of people probably only log into Facebook like once in 3 days or once in 2 days. They hardly spend that much time compared to, I don't know, 2 or 3 years before. Do you know why? Because now there's a silent movement of doing focused work, digitally disconnecting. It's very silent. Not many people talk about it, because why we're doing that is because we have problems with productivity. So a lot of people some people tend to start this exercise of not being too active on social medias or too distracted on social media, right? So, okay, if you want to have a break, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, okay, let's go to my email and see what else is new. Yeah, so there are some people who actually practice that, and emails are really, really very useful for people to actually get bits of updates about your business. I know some of you probably, those of you who have not started email before, probably you're thinking email is such an ancient marketing method. It is. It's one of the oldest marketing method you can use for digital marketing nowadays. And most people only use email at the stage of after the person buying from you. But you can do it in the reverse, yeah. There are a lot of people who actually start to build their customer database first before even selling them anything. All right, so if you are a content creator, consider email, because you can also, let people know who you are, all right? And then you start talking about your products, your services, latest activities that you're doing, latest projects that you are doing, all right? Or maybe you want to actually encourage more people to join you on this very brand new adventure of creating something new, engaging with the community, inviting people to an event. But people won't sign up with you if they don't know you yet. It's like people want to tie a string with you so that they can keep in touch with you. All right. But at the end of the day, whether they will take an action or not, they will do it at their own time. But you still need to do the job of letting them know, hey, what's going on here, or summarize things that's happening on the internet or that's happening on your channel and send it to them. Yeah. So it's like convenience. Yeah, you can say that. All right. Now you can ask your customers for a review. Okay. So these are, again, for people who have already bought something from your e-commerce site. So you can ask, how was your experience? Ask for some worded content. Usually these kind of emails are worded in such a way that you remind people what they did previously with your business, and then ask nicely for a review or for a feedback. Usually, most of the time, people will choose a much more simpler way for people to leave feedback, because there are two types of people. One type of people, they'll just choose the star, okay, and get it done. All right. The other type of person actually has something good to say about you. And it really depends on the level of quality that you're providing, and also the level of personalized service that you're providing to this other person. So for those of you who are doing B2B, you will find that your customers tend to write a lot. Maybe something written to give you a better contextual review. For B2C, most of you will probably get, good, bad, poor, acceptable, something like that. So the technical term for that is usually the Net Promoter Score, NPS. Yeah, so if you really dig deep into customer service and also customer feedback, all right, so there's a very important technical term that you need to know, which is called the Net Promoter Score. So a lot of bigger e-commerce, even corporations that actually have customer service or even sales service departments, they usually have a KPI based on the Net Promoter Score. So how do you compile all this data? Is usually through emails. So yeah, so it's pretty important to design the email in such a way that people are more inclined to respond. And if you put effort on how you make the ask, you will get a more quality response. Yeah. So starting your email like, how was your experience? It actually grabs attention. Okay. Mentioning people's name in your email makes people feel very personalized. It's like you are directly talking to me. Yeah, don't start your email when you actually ask for, you know, customer testimonials or something good. This person to actually write something for your organization with something like hi or hello customer. You know, you make them too generic. And when people feel generic, you know what happens? They will just either skip your email or close your email and go to the next email. Yeah, so you make them feel good, they will write something good for you. Okay, 101 guys, 101. All right. Okay, replenishment emails. This is also quite relatable for e-commerce people. It's also useful, yeah, for those of you who are doing services, because there are some services that actually are more, how I say, recurring. All right, it's like, for example, aircon servicing. All right, so if you are actually in the office, you have a few aircon units in the office, you probably do this exercise like once in a quarter or once half a year. It depends on like factories. Okay, sometimes it's much more frequent. Sometimes it's a different kind of air conditioning system. All right, so you know it would be good if this aircon service provider actually reminds people that, hey, you know, it's time for your next service. All right, would you like to add on, all right, to your service? Okay, the last time when we actually came to service your aircon, we noticed that the, you know, the capacity of the air conditioning for your office is a little bit you know, not up to standard. Okay, or maybe one of the aircon units was showing signs of wear and tear. All right, would you want to consider, all right, changing that unit, or maybe do a deep clean or deep filter clean of that unit? All right, now another idea for replenishment, that means to actually send people a reminder to take on your service, or maybe take on your offer for consulting, is what's happening currently. All right, so why I like to use the aircon example now is because, you know, right now there's the haze situation. All right, so basically there's a lot of smoke in the air right now, and it's not exactly healthy for a human being to be in a confined space working long hours without proper maintenance of the air conditioning system. Yeah, and by the way, the air conditioning system, the filters, it will get dusted, it will get clogged much faster. Yeah, so these are actually perfect excuses or reason or conversation starters, okay, that you can proactively send out to these people who are in your email database, okay, and to us, and to remind them, hey, you know, Haze is coming back. We would like to send you a PSA or maybe a reminder, all right, to take care of your health. Make sure you drink enough water. Make sure everybody is in the office is actually well hydrated. You don't sell, it's okay, but you can put a very small call to action at the bottom and say you want to actually have a air conditioning checkup. All right, let us know, okay, and we can arrange such a service for you. All right, so the technique here is to give value first before you offer a action that a person can consider. It's sort of like designing a flyer, but the value is the part that gets people sitting up and listening, because they will remember you. So this is one example that how you can use emails as a branding mechanism. How can you make people still remember you, although they probably have not contacted you before, or they might almost forget that you exist, all right? But because of that one email, all right, people will remember you again. Yeah, I know it happened to me quite a few times, like a doctor on call. So during the COVID, during the pandemic, right? So there was one incident where I actually had a student that actually caught COVID. No, actually, his girlfriend actually is working in a shopping mall. All right, and suddenly the shopping mall has COVID case. So it was a very big thing. And then so happened this uh, guy is in my class. So it was a very big situation there. Everybody was panicking and stuff like that. So we actually had to cancel the class on the spot. So it was a very intense season. So I actually had to go to doctor on call and sign up for a COVID test. At that time, they call it the RTK test. Yeah, so what happened was, okay, to pay for the RTK, you actually had to do everything online. So that's how how Dr. On Call actually got my email in the first place. Yeah, so yeah. And after that, despite, you know, pandemic being over and all, now we are trying to move back to normalcy. All right. Dr. On Call still emails me from time to time. They don't do it as often anymore. They used to do every week. Yeah. So they will, once they detect that I do not respond or I do not open any of their emails for maybe 3 or 4 times, that means 3 or 4 weeks they send email but I never open, they will tone down a little bit on the email frequency. All right, just to make me feel comfortable, and also only focus on value kind of content, not the selling kind of content. So they will switch up their ratio depending on the person's behavior towards your emails. So that's another way you can use emails to track how people feel about your product or your brand, or how busy these people are that they do not have time to actually check out your deals. But it still doesn't mean that you can stop emailing them. You only stop emailing that person if they say, I do not want to subscribe anymore. There's a reason why there's a unsubscribe button in the email. You leave it up to that person to unsubscribe you. Yeah. All right. So yes, okay, this is Nando's. Yes, Nando's also was you know, taking the opportunity that, hey, you know, get vaccinated and you get something free, right? So they can easily do this on social media, but they still do that extra effort to make sure that you know about this deal. And I think a lot of you are also users of some mobile apps, right? Even the shopping mall Sunway also have their own, you know, mobile app there. All right. When people actually download the mobile app, they probably need to put in their email to actually sign up or sign in. All right. Sometimes when you want to use the shopping mall's Wi-Fi, you still need to provide your email. All right. Yeah, this is the thing that a lot of shopping malls are doing right now. Again, you can actually use this technique if you have your own Wi-Fi in your restaurant or F&B. Okay, it's a very excellent idea because you're taking the opportunity to collect their email addresses, right? So, you know, whenever there's a situation where you can actually cross-promote your promotion, okay, like discounts or free stuff, all right? So they will get excited. But sometimes when they only visit your establishment, your restaurant, like once in a blue moon, once in 2 months, once in half a year, all right? Nando's is not exactly KFC, yeah. Okay, Nando's is not exactly your roadside makcik nasi lemak store, okay? It's not mama, all right? It's quite expensive to actually dine there. So that's why they feel the need that sometimes, you know, other than announcing all these really good deals on social media, let's do a backup plan to also send out this promotion on emails also. Now, they might not click that call to action in your email, but at the very least, if they open this email, it actually serves the purpose of bringing awareness about your promotion. So for those of you who actually use email and you probably need to justify with your bosses, all right? Your bosses maybe are not very convinced. They will probably tell you that nowadays I don't even open my own emails. Why do we actually need to do email marketing when, you know, everything can happen on paid ads on social media instead? All right. So you probably want to remind them that different people have different ways of getting information. All right. And although it is not directly measurable that the person actually takes an action from seeing that promotion on the email, it actually serves the purpose like an extra digital touch point for people to be aware of your promotion. And later on, when they want to take an action, they can recall what was the promotion and they'll start looking for this promotion to take an action. A very interesting term that we use for this kind of situation where a marketing effort is not directly translating to a outcome, all right, it's called attribution. Yeah, so I'm going a little bit more on analytics a little bit, all right? When I mention attribution, it's all about measuring every single thing that you do in your company, all right? And guess what? Email is probably one of the most easiest thing to automate, especially when you're using email sending providers. Yeah, as long as you make sure you remind people how you got their email address in the first place. It's very important. All right, you receive this email because you are registered with the Nando's Malaysia app. Okay, it might seem like a very small line to you, all right, but to some people who are very, how I say, alert, okay, and very against spam, you'll find every single way to try and see, hey, why am I receiving this? Did I do something? All right, so it's a good idea. If let's say you are trying to reactivate your database of people, and you might want to remind them how you actually got their contact information in the first place. I think some of you have heard of, how property agents actually buy email from some master list or email database from somewhere and start spamming you nonstop. Yeah, they're doing it on the phone number thing, but it also happens on email. Yeah, some dark corner of the internet there, it is quite possible for you to buy, I don't know, 10,000, 20,000 emails. All right, but like I said, the best emails or the best customer database to have is something that you build with your own content. It gives people a strong reason why they want to follow you, because of what you are providing, either content or either business. Yeah. All right. Okay. Nadira, your case, yeah lah, a lot of companies, well, I think they probably don't honor the unsubscribe button. This kind of companies that you're describing, that people that don't remove you from the email sending database, if so happen one of that person is from the EU, they can get sued. Yes. So unfortunately in Malaysia, our PDPA is not that well enforced. We don't have a central registry of do not contact. But in Singapore, it does. It exists. They have a central registry that actually people can call in and tell people that, okay, I do not allow this company or this marketing email to send me any more emails. You can actually report, right? And all companies who want to send emails or email blasting or even WhatsApp blasting, they have to check against this do not call registrar to clean up their customer database. That's how it should be actually. But unfortunately, Malaysia, well, it probably takes a lot of time for us to actually set up this kind of system so that big and small companies who are well integrated, they actually can refer to this do not call registry to make sure that their customer database is much cleaner, and we reduce the likelihood of our content being labeled as spam. Yeah, but do take note there, guys. If you are trying to build up a newsletter where your audience is everywhere around the world, please make sure that there is an unsubscribe button. And please make sure you let people know how you actually got their email address. It will reduce the chances of them unsubscribing you. So yeah, it's very, very important. All right. So these people, maybe you sense it, and you have been sending this email to them like every single week for about 3 months, okay? And they're not responding to you, all right? Okay? So a very popular technique that I've seen before is a direct email to me, okay, from a person's name, all right, to ask, hey, are you still there? All right, we are going to unsubscribe you from our email list. All right, if you still want to keep in touch, let us know. Very direct question. So this is a very interesting strategy that people are using to make sure this person is reminded that, hey, we are doing very proactively cleaning up our customer database, and we are okay if you don't want to receive any more emails from us. Wow. Okay, so it's like very confident, right? Okay, you are just one email, okay, and if we are really bothering you, let us know, we can remove you. All right, so they are proactively asking people, do you want to unsubscribe? So it's a reverse psychology, I think, in a way, but it makes you feel something. It makes you feel that I'm going to miss out if I say yes. It feels like I'm going to miss out something at some point of time. Now, I've received 2 or 3 times this kind of emails, and almost 2 out of 3 times, okay, I will write back to them and say, yes, I still want in. Yeah. All right. Although, I don't know whether a real person is actually reading my email, but they have actually designed the email in such a way to trigger people, the FOMO thing that everybody will feel when you want to take away something from someone. So that's very interesting strategy. Okay, if you have people who don't respond to you, all right, you just ask them, okay, you still want us or not? All right, so that FOMO effect will make them or force them to take an action or reply to you at least. Yes, I want. All right, that's it. Very simple. Just let them do a very simple way to say continue receiving or not. But you have to be proactive as well. All right. So some people do loyalty programs. So that's how they basically make sure that they are still around, still active, because the only kind of customer database that you should maintain are an active customer database, whether these people open your email before, or not. Very, very important. All right. So as long as I open your email and you send me something interesting, some tidbits or something fun, okay, I will actually stick to you. All right. Or when I'm looking for something and I do a search on my email account and I find you, I'm happy. Yeah. How many of you actually do clean down your mailbox from time to time? Anyone? I'm just curious lah. How many of you actually do proactively clean down your email so that you don't have a lot of unread emails? Yeah, don't be surprised. Okay, I have 92,000 unread emails. You also say lah, sometimes you only realize, how come I stop receiving emails from these people? All right, they automatically unsubscribe you already, not even asking you. But again, because they probably are confident that you are still having their email somewhere inside, they're not afraid that you cannot find them. And they probably don't have anything new to update you. So it's like, okay, let's reduce our customer database count, all right, to make sure that we actually get the emails out to people who does open the email. If any of you actually use an email sending software, you will know that they actually charge by a number of subscribers or number of people that you are sending out. So it's normal for company to actually trim down the number of emails that is being sent per month. It's a very practical thing. Marketers like us, we understand. All right. But normal people, out of sight is out of mind. Yeah, it's normally like that until you have a need. I cannot remember how many times. Sometimes I just go back to my email and say, I was looking for this particular microphone, but I cannot remember that brand name. Yeah. Or I bought something from Shopee, but I cannot remember where I bought it from. So I will actually look into my mailbox, okay, for that hint of thing that can remind me. That's why I keep all my emails. Now, sometimes when I do clean up my emails, okay, this is again, only smart people will do this. Yeah. If you're on Gmail, do you know that you can actually filter your emails by size of the email? Usually, the big emails that have very heavy image or maybe some file attachment will go first. Yeah, so all right, so this is my personal email. As all of you know, Gmail, actually the email account, right, has a storage limit. All right, so once you exceed that, you probably need to clean down your email so that you can keep more files in your Google Drive and stuff like that. The storage for each Gmail account is actually very limited and is shared across your Gmail and also your Google Drive, right? So what I do on my Gmail is usually I filter by, okay, any email that has attachment of more than this file size, delete. Now you know, all right? So another trick that I want to tell you, do not send big attachments to your dear email subscribers. because that is usually the emails that will go first if they do some cleanup on their mailbox. A lot of people like to do that. I don't know why. But maybe out of necessity, it was a really business correspondence. But sometimes people do that is because, well, you know, you have a very interesting thing to tell. You put a lot of images, a lot of things inside your email. All these images you put inside here, there are two types of image that can be embedded inside your email. All right, one is the embedded images. That counts towards the size of your email when it's sent out. Yeah. Another type of email embedding is basically the image is actually hosted in your website. So when you design your email, only the link to that image to your website is actually in the email. It will reduce the size of your email greatly. Yeah, so this is another thing that you should take note of when you design your emails. How do you know? You do a test email, send a test email to yourself, and take a look at how heavy that email is. Most email clients will tell you, okay, this email is how many KB or 100, 200 KB. That's a little bit too heavy. Usually text only is the lightest, okay? One or two images that's hosted in your own website, that is also not too bad, because basically the email will see it as a link and the email client will take that image and render it or show it inside or in front of the person checking the email. So there are two different ways of embedding emails in your embedding images in your emails. So do check that if you're looking to optimize. All right. Now another thing to optimize is also your call to action. I'll give you a list of call to actions that you can use in your emails in a bit. All right, and you can design your email in such a way that it has only one call to action, but the description you put, the wordings that you use for that call to action is just slightly different worded. Yeah, why do we do this? Is because we want to avoid people skipping the idea of taking an action. All right, so if you notice that this is doctor on call, I like to use their sample because it's like, first of all, their subject line has an emoji. It captures attention. All right. Secondly, their call to action is very cleverly put. All right, come back then. This is a long time. I haven't went back to the website to buy anything for a long time. So this is like a reminder email. Okay, hey, you know, if you come back, I'm going to give you a coupon and you can, you know, get a discount. Right. So news come back then at checkout. Okay. And this is the same call to action. Yeah. The second one is news my RM10 now. All right. So you can see that actually it's the same thing. That discount code entitles you to a 10% off. Right? But instead of making it sounding so hard salesy, all right, you use different way of describing the same action that people can take. All right. One very useful tip is when you design your action, you tell people what they will be getting or what is in it for them. The result, the outcome. Yeah. So you can see the first one is use this code where. All right. The second one, use what now. All right, so there's a little bit of time factor in there as well to make people feel that I'm going to miss out if I don't take an action now. Yeah, so your hierarchy of your email, all right, from top to bottom, okay, in case it is not very clear, it's like this is the top of the email, this is the middle of the email, and this is the ending part of the email. Yeah, so when you design your email and it actually has a lot of space in between with more information, you probably need to repeat your call to action maybe another time at the bottom. This is, you know, good practice to actually let people know that, hey, you know, there's an action you can take in this email. Of course, you can share your social media at the bottom. It's really up to you. All right. So spam box, how to avoid, okay. I would say, remember to tell people that you are going to send emails from this email address. So make sure they add you in the contact list, okay. Do not use any spammy words in the subject line. Nowadays, the spam filter also check your content. If inside your email has spammy words, it will also end up inside the spam filter. Okay. Put emojis in your subject lines, but don't overdo it. Pick emojis that make sense. Okay, don't just put an emoji because you can. All right, so this is fave. Okay, so they basically have, okay, Mid-Autumn Festival, put a lantern. All right, it just makes sense, contextually making sense. Okay, fave, eat out. Okay, so some emoji that actually has the tongue licking. All right, so it's contextual. It actually makes the message stronger. Don't put the emoji because you want to grab a person's attention. So it just makes people easy to digest. Okay, they feel that your email is also much more friendlier. Maintain good to text image ratio. This one I tell you, I can easily tell you lah. A lot of banks, insurance companies, right? They fail at this 100%. Why? Because they like to do this very annoying thing. They take their brochure, scan the copy, the whole image, put it in the email and send it out. There's not one single line of text inside that email. The whole email is just one huge image sending out. Needless to say, you know, these emails are the first ones to go from me lah. So yeah, good text to image ratio depends on your industry. The spam filters are smart enough to know that if you are sending from a domain name that can lead back to an e-commerce website, all right, your domain name actually usually can lead back to your own e-commerce website, right? When they detect that it's from an e-commerce website, it's okay to put more images because you are probably sending out a catalog, right? But if your domain name is actually linked back to a blog website, okay, that writes a lot but less images, but your email has so much images in there, it actually will trigger the spam filter. The spam filter will learn that, you know, you're trying something funny here to manipulate the spam thing. Yeah. So 20% images, 80% text is a very good balance, but some industries will use differently. Use the email testing tool. Now, usually email testing tool, they will tell you whether certain spam filter like you or not. If they don't like you, they will tell you why. Like, for example, you have a broken link in there, your images are not clear, you have too many images in there, your email is too heavy, or you're using some very strange words that is inside your email and the spam filter doesn't like it. Yeah, so you will get score. You will get a score, okay? Your total score is what? And you can basically, based on that, to improve your email. So it's always a good idea to make an email testing as part of your workflow when you design your emails, yeah? Email sending providers, some of them do have a testing way to check your email against spam filters, but most of the time, the type of testing that you get from email sending providers is basically how does it look like on the desktop and how does it look like on the mobile phone. Yeah, that kind of testing. Not so much of, okay, if I send out this email to this 1,000 email addresses, how many of them will go through? There's a lot of things that will happen when the email goes out from the email sending software. All right, some emails are probably not active emails or probably fake emails. So nowadays, I think MailChimp and also another one, Engine Mailer, they actually have an extra feature. You have to pay for this to actually validate your email database first. Okay, our 1,000 email address, how many of it is actually real, original, contactable emails? And how many of those are actually fake emails? Remove the fake emails first before you do that email send. Yeah. All right. So Nadira is asking, does Google spam brain crawl into Gmail? For now, no. Yeah, spam brain is more applicable to website for now. For now. Why I say this is because everybody know Bard, B-A-R-D, the latest version of the AI from Google. All right. Actually, you can allow Bard to scan your email to get answers. So if Google can actually do that to each of your individual email accounts, sooner or later, spam brain will actually come into the picture. But I don't know how. All right, just keep in mind, the more spam you receive, probably it will trigger Gmail or Google to actually do something about the results that you're getting from asking questions about these emails that you are receiving or something like that. But that's AI, all right? Now, you can use AI to assist you in copywriting, okay? So some of you probably have a website out there or maybe have YouTube channel, all right? Every week I post one video, okay? Or your own blog, okay? Every week I post some article in my blog, all right? I would say at least do yourself a favor or do your subscribers a favor. Every month, send one newsletter. Monthly newsletter is good enough if you're doing a weekly update of your own blog content. I want to acknowledge this also. Really good content, the long form contents on the average will take about 1 week to create. It's really normal. When you do so much research, when you need to fine tune a lot of things, even if you use ChatGPT to write the article, you still need to vet through it, you still need to read through it, you still need to do fact checking. All right, these are things that any normal professional creator will do because you want to be the last person that is adding spam on the internet, correct? Right. So if you're already doing that, okay, do a newsletter, monthly newsletter, okay, and you can use ChatGPT to help you do this. And not just that, you can also take the opportunity to add in another link here, all right, that leads you to a summarized version of your content. This is very good if you are a B2B business and you write a lot of all these how-to good articles, industry news, and you probably want to summarize that, and probably at the end of the day, you have a very interesting catalog that you want to send to people, right? Maybe a catalog of useful, I think Michael is here. Yeah. So yeah, Michael is in the pump business. So it's water pumps, all sort of pumps. So what he has is actually a very useful catalog of certain pumps for certain industries. So you can actually do that, all right, inside your newsletter email. It's very simple. You don't have to be so complicated if you cannot do weekly email out kind of content. A monthly summary is also good enough. Now, I want to share this one. This is very useful for those of you who write articles as well. You might notice that if you use ChatGPT and tell it to write article for you, it will always say, it's important to bear in mind, due to the fact, let's uncover, let's dive in, let's delve in. It's worth mentioning. It's important to note that, remember that. So these are terms that is really, how I say, it's a dead giveaway that you are using ChatGPT to write this article. All right, same thing as well. You can actually tell ChatGPT, when you do up this newsletter summary, please avoid all these terms. So this is extra tip for all of you who actually prefers written emails. All right, and you want to use ChatGPT, but you probably don't feel very confident with ChatGPT because it's like somehow there's somebody out there who knows that this is written by ChatGPT. Right, I'm just sharing this in case you need it, but yes, you can tell the robot do whatever you want them to. All right, psychology of email CTAs. All right. So again, when you design your email, make sure you capture people's attention. People not sometimes use headline or text placements, but there's always a very important thing is your action. You want people to take action when they see your email. Now, when your call to action, okay, or CTAs, all right, is short and funky, sometimes it catches attention. A well-positioned button inside a promotion can also capture a person's attention. However, if, let's say, you want to create some emotional attachment to taking the action, these are a few CTAs you can use instead of sign up now, or all these very generic submit now or very technical sounding CTAs. It might actually work in your favor, but like I said, at the end of the day, you still need to find a way to test it. All right. Now for emails, there is a way to do A/B testing. Usually people will use some sort of tool to actually test and see which CTA works better. So just like earlier example, I was saying, hey, use ChatGPT to create an email newsletter summary. All right. But at the end of the day, you want to get people to sign up, discover how. All right. So you want to encourage people to actually forward this email to 3 of your friends or 4 of your friends that find this useful. All right. And you want to include a call to action there. Okay, sign up this newsletter, blah, blah, blah. All right. So you can actually use any of these newsletter CTAs, but adjust it. Adjust it to the topic that you are trying to promote. Sales CTAs. So any of you who are doing e-commerce, you want to do that buy now button. Instead of buy now, give it context. Buy now for your mom. Buy now for your dad. Buy now for extra privileges. Buy now for a better night sleep. If you are, let's say, selling mattresses or pillows or stuff like that. All right. So give it a little bit of context. You can try. Like I mentioned, you can always put 2 call to action buttons that leads to a same call to action. It's just the label on that button is different. Abandoned cart, okay, repeat purchase, okay, seasonal ones. All right, this one, seasonal, you have to plan it according to your email marketing calendar. All right, some of you are from e-commerce, you will know that we here, at least in Asia, we actually do something called double-digit sales. And it doesn't just happen on 11/11, all right? Here, particularly in Malaysia, it actually happens every month. So you might partake in every single month double-digit sales. It's sort of like a norm. But there are some businesses who actually only do certain months double-digit sales because it coincides with something else. So new seasonal CTAs according to what you have planned out to your promotional calendar. All right. SaaS, okay, software as a service, okay, it's also considered e-commerce emails, but the objective is what? To get people to tune in, to get people to buy in, to subscribe, to enroll, to do a free trial. All right. So yes, yeah, you can actually use any of these emails, any of these call to actions to give people a little bit more context. What happens if I sign up with you? What is the result? Or what can I get started on if I sign up with you? All right. Now, do not use multiple CTAs, as in, there's a lot of field analytics dashboard, click here. Visit the audience dashboard, click here. The name of the call to action is the same, the label. All right. So it doesn't give people an immediate need to take an action. People have to read the entire sentence to know what is it. So when you write worded emails like this, make sure this particular link that is clickable is actually a description of what people will get when they click the link. Do not use things like click here. And by the way, this is 1, 2, 3 different call to actions. It goes different places. It's different objectives. Okay, so CTAs were to collect customer feedback. All right, so this is something that you can do. Please check your links before sending out that email. Especially those of you who want to share a file or download a PDF, this can be very disastrous, okay? Because it is already hard enough for people to actually open your email. All right, when people open your email, they have an expectation that, okay, finally it has arrived, that ebook that I wanted to read so much because you've been saying that there's so many tips in your ebook, all right, and you just need to download it now. You click on the download button, I get disappointed because I see something like that didn't work or file not found. Oh my God, it's so sad. Now, broken links can trigger spam filters, yeah. Nowadays, I'm telling you, spam filters are so smart, they'll read into your link to see whether it leads to an actual file or not. Yeah, so please, okay, use this tool and check all your links in your email. Do yourself a favor. All right, make sure all the things that you want to share is publicly accessible. If you're hosting it on the website, make sure that there's no robot.txt that's blocking it or some firewall that's blocking access to certain IPs. You might want to use a proper file sharing platform to actually share ebooks and stuff like that. Or maybe you want people to actually sign up or log in before can download it. Figure out a mechanism. All right, but make sure it works. All right, so in case you want to do email A/B testing, and you probably don't want to pay for it. Remember I mentioned a lot of email sending providers actually charge you for doing A/B testing. All right, so MailerLite actually has email testing, A/B testing, split testing we call it, for free. So you just go for the free account. Okay, it's actually available for you. So what kind of things you can test? You can test emojis. With emojis, no emojis in the headline. Okay, it works, whether it works or not. All right. Whether you want to test some headlines. Okay, whether it looks good when it's viewed on mobile, whether it's viewed from an email client. Call to actions. There's a lot you can use, but what works better? All right. You can test colors that's inside your email, whether we actually get people's attention and grab them long enough to actually take an action. Test images that you put in your email. Okay. Test layout. Some people like the buy button on the right hand side. Some people like the button on the top down kind of view. Sometimes your email just looks better in mobile, and most of your people actually open the email from a mobile phone. All right. Test your forms. Okay. See whether the call to action is long enough or obvious enough for people to see. Like contrast. Is blue and green a good contrast compared to gray and green? Pricing strategy. Okay, this is a screenshot that's taken from Agoda, I think. All right, so whether this price will actually get people to click it or not when you add one more copy. So this is version A, this is version B. All right, page length, whether it's a long email or short email. Messaging, okay, the copy that you use in here. All right, does it make sense to a person or not? Sometimes there are some email copies that you have to word in such a way that it triggers or challenges people to actually take action. But sometimes there are some copy that you need to soften the message so that people will have time to consider whether this is suitable for me or not. So it really depends on the product that you are promoting, or the story that you're telling, or the kind of action that you want people to take. Yeah, you have to understand your audience for this. And of course, you can design an email and you test it against different audiences. Even a slight variation of the audience motivation or concern can actually change the outcome of people clicking on your call to actions. Yeah, right. Now, email sending providers, they allow you to segment people by behavior. So whether this person has opened an email in the last 30 days, this person has opened emails that you sent in the last 60 days or 90 days. All right. Okay. So you can segment them by their behavior towards your email, whether they click this certain link in this certain email, whether in this bulk of email they actually did something, or read half of the email, or maybe click on certain links in the email, or maybe open the email 2 or 3 times. So this is a way to segment people by how they have reacted to your email. Now, last but not least, tools. Okay, so this is just a very summary of the things you can use in your WordPress website. If you have a WordPress website, I would highly recommend that make sure you install a WP Mail SMTP, because most WordPress website, they will default by using the PHP mail function. All right, these are for situations where you want to forget password lah, or that the sign up account and your CMS system is actually your WordPress. All right, the PHP built-in mail function is already very heavily abused by a lot of spammers lah out there. All right, and it's a good idea to actually use the PHP mailer library. So of course, if you're not a technical person, you don't know how to code it, right? So I would say the easiest way is just to install this plugin. It will automatically supersede this functionality, and also use the more official PHP mailer library that allows you to connect to either your own SMTP, or at least have a marker in there that says that you are a legit person that is using a proper or doing proper email sending initiatives from your website. Yeah, all right. Now, email template customizer is something that you can use in your website. Let's say, that forgot password email or whatever email that's sending from your website is very boring. All right, you can modify a little bit. All right, you can actually change the header, change the body. All right, you can also use placeholder little codes to create some dynamic thing that is in your email. So like, for example, you don't want to repeat your blog URL all the time. So you want to actually, use a placeholder code. We call it the merge code. If any of you do Microsoft Word mail merge before. All right, so these are merging codes, okay? They actually help you create dynamic content again and again without repeating yourself. Yeah, so it gives you a little bit more flexibility. All right, when you actually create email templates to really send an email whenever a new post that is posted on my website. The automation part. Cadence WooCommerce email. Now, this is a very good email designer for those of you who actually have a WooCommerce website. Yeah, so what you can do, you can actually modify same thing, the header, the footer. At some point, the content also you can actually change. You can actually apply different styles as well. You can also do a preview email here. This is good because for WooCommerce, if you wanted to integrate WooCommerce abandoned emails and you want to link it to an official email sending provider, you cannot do it for free. Yeah, it's for people who probably don't want to invest in paying for email sending provider, but you want to do everything from your website first. All right, but remember, yeah, whenever you customize or you want to actually send email directly from your website, it's always a good idea to make sure you have this installed, or else your email even transactional emails will get stuck in the spam also. Yeah, so install this plugin and then you install this one. All right, and then you start modifying your email with your brand logo and everything with a very clear order details. Then people are more likely to receive it in their inbox. Now, this is for technical people. All right, some of you might come from a programming background. You are very familiar with CSS or HTML like me. All right, I like to use this because it gives me much more granular control. It's the same reason why web designers like to use Photoshop. Yeah, people like us, okay, who build websites from code, we love code for a reason, because we can really go deep down on a granular level to actually produce a more different kind of email, all right, a more interactive kind. Sometimes we can embed videos in it. Sometimes we can do something extra inside. All right, so what happens is we'll actually produce the HTML for you. And there are certain email sending providers, they allow you to paste the HTML code inside. Yeah, so you actually get a version of your email. I use this basically to share a YouTube video in my email. Yes, there are some people who actually say if you embed a YouTube video in your email, it will actually trigger spam. Yeah, it's correct. There are some situations where it actually ended up in the spam box instead of the person's inbox. So around that is, instead of embedding your YouTube, you might want to consider embedding your thumbnail of YouTube and maybe just putting that image, having a link to your YouTube channel. All right, so that's one thing you can consider if you're down to the HTML kind of email creation. But don't worry, a lot of things here are actually drag and drop. If you pay for strippo.email, you can actually send directly from that platform as well. But it's not as comprehensive as email sending tool. Yeah, so it's like one-time email or two times email. So for those of you who probably don't want to use a big system to store your customer database and you prefer to do everything manually, maybe you just have 10 subscribers, all right, and you just want to do something simple like this, all right, feel free to use this Strippo. It probably is a bit easier for you to manage. You can do a little bit more creative kind of design as well. All right, so always preview before sending out. Okay, so check your HTML and CSS issues. If you are a technical person, you probably find this very useful. All right, and that's it. Now, this is extra. Okay, all right, so of course, again, those of you who came to my talk last week, you will know, right? Okay, I always give extra things one, okay, but I'm not going to talk about it inside here in the sharing session. All right, so if you want to know, okay, this 12 email marketing metric track to measure your email engagement, okay, how you know whether your email is good or not, how to fix problems, okay, Feel free to let Nadira know, okay, if you want our slides. All right, let me know, okay. Also, I'm very curious, how many of you actually track your email engagement? Because a lot of people that I know, okay, I do email, I send out, that's it. I don't care whether people open or not, I just keep sending. Sure, you can do that, no problem. All right, but real businesses who use email as a marketing channel, they will measure not just how many times open, how many times that the people click on the link. There are a lot more things that you can track inside to measure something called email engagement. Yeah? All right. So with that, okay, I think I will end today's sharing session. All right. So I'll pass the session back to Nadira. But thank you very much, everyone, for your feedback here in the chat. You want this slide, Nadira will give you more information.
Okay, hold on. Before we go, I would say thank you to Wadi for tonight's topic, email marketing. Again, this is from the MC. I'm not sure if everyone is already in the DMChampion group, but I still want to emphasize that. Please join the DMChampion. We rarely promote stuff there. It's purely giving content to you. So if you know your connection can benefit from that, if you just want casually learn digital marketing on daily basis once a day, also tell your friends, your family, join our channel, DMChampion. Again, if you need the link, just let me know. But you can follow, you can scan the QR code on the screen now, or use the bit.ly link, DMChampion TG, which is Telegram. And next week, we are with Charles. So Charles is coming back next week. He is going to demo one tool that he used, AI tool, to create a video. Because you have seen a lot of cash cow channel, I call it cash cow lah, cash cow channel in YouTube recently with AI. So Charles is going to like cover this tool. Like you just key in the prompt saja, and then like that tool will immediately select stock photo for you, stock video for you, add the script for you, add the voice over for you. So Charles is going to demo that tool next week, same time as today, Wednesday, and 8 p.m. So next week with Charles on effortless video creation with AI. We hope to see you guys same time, same day next week too. Again, have a good evening and bye-bye.